You know what's frustrating? Missing the signs. You spend time with someone, you feel a connection, but you're not quite sure if it's mutual. You don't want to misread the situation. You don't want to make things awkward, so you wait. You wonder. And sometimes you miss your chance entirely because you couldn't tell if she was interested or just being friendly. Here's the thing though, people communicate interest all the time. They're just not always using words. In fact, some of the most powerful messages we send have nothing to do with what we say and everything to do with how we behave. Women especially tend to communicate through subtle actions, body language, and behaviors that can be easy to miss if you're not paying attention. I'm not here to teach you tricks or games. I'm here to help you recognize authentic interest when it's right in front of you. Because here's the truth. When a woman is genuinely interested in deepening her connection with you, she's already telling you. You just need to know what to look for. So let's talk about the 6 hidden signs that a woman wants to take things to a deeper level with you. These aren't manipulative tactics. These are real human behaviors that happen when someone feels safe with you, attracted to you, and ready for something more meaningful. Let me talk to you about eye contact, because this is something most people completely miss or misunderstand. When a woman is genuinely interested in you on a deeper level, her eyes tell a story that her words might not be ready to share yet. Think about your normal interactions with people. You make eye contact, maybe for a second or two, then you look away. It's comfortable, it's natural, and it doesn't mean anything special. But there's a different kind of eye contact that happens when real attraction is involved. When a woman wants to connect with you on a more intimate level, her eyes will find yours and stay there just a little bit longer than feels normal. We're talking about those moments during conversation where she locks eyes with you and doesn't immediately look away. There's something almost magnetic about it. You'll notice it because it feels different from regular conversation. What makes this even more meaningful is what happens with her eyes when she looks at you. You'll see a softness there. Her expression relaxes. If she's smiling, it's not a polite social smile where just her mouth moves. It's a genuine smile that reaches her eyes, the kind that creates little crinkles at the corners. That's authentic happiness, and she's experiencing it because she's looking at you. Here's something really interesting that happens biologically. When we're attracted to someone, our pupils actually dilate. We can't control this. It's an automatic response. Ancient humans recognized this instinctively, and we still respond to it today, even if we don't consciously realize it. So if you're close enough to notice, and her pupils seem larger when she's looking at you, that's her body betraying what her heart is feeling. Pay attention to how often she seeks out your eyes during group conversations. When something funny happens, whose face does she look at first? When someone tells a story, does she glance at you to see your reaction? These are small moments, but they're incredibly telling. She's creating private moments with you in public spaces. There's also the quality of the eye contact itself. It's not aggressive or challenging. It's warm and inviting. You might even feel like she's looking into you rather than just at you. Some people describe it as feeling seen in a way that's both vulnerable and exciting. The timing matters too. This isn't just happening once or twice. You'll start noticing a pattern. Whether you're talking one-on-one or in a group setting, her eyes consistently find their way back to yours. She might glance away briefly, but then she returns, like she can't quite help herself. This kind of eye contact creates intimacy. It's the foundation of connection. When someone is willing to be that present with you, to really see you and let themselves be seen, they're opening a door. They're showing you that they feel safe with you and want you to come closer. Personal space is something we're all protective of, whether we realize it or not. Scientists call it our personal bubble, and it typically extends about 18 inches to 2 feet around us. We let family, close friends, and romantic interests inside that bubble. Everyone else stays outside. So when a woman consistently enters your personal space, that's a deliberate choice her body is making. Watch how she positions herself when you're together. If you're sitting at a table or on a couch, notice where she chooses to sit. Does she take the seat right next to you, even when there are other options? When you're standing and talking, does she step closer rather than maintaining a comfortable distance? These movements aren't random. Her body is literally drawn toward yours. The touches are what really tell the story, though. I'm not talking about anything inappropriate or overtly sexual. I'm talking about those light, seemingly innocent touches that happen during normal conversation. She laughs at something you said, and her hand lands on your forearm for just a moment. You're walking together, and she touches the small of your back to guide you through a doorway. She notices something on your shirt and reaches over to brush it off. These moments might seem insignificant, but they're actually packed with meaning. Touch is incredibly intimate. When we touch someone, we're crossing a boundary that society usually keeps pretty firm between acquaintances. The fact that she feels comfortable initiating that contact means she's comfortable with physical closeness to you specifically. Here's what's really interesting about this behavior. Women are generally more cautious about physical boundaries than men are, partly because of social conditioning and partly because of safety considerations. So when a woman is the one initiating touch, when she's the one closing the distance, that's a big deal. She's making herself vulnerable and showing trust. Pay attention to her body language when you're close. Does she lean toward you when you're talking, even if she can hear you perfectly fine? Does her knee touch yours when you're sitting side by side? And does she leave it there? When you're walking together, does she match your pace and walk close enough that your arms occasionally brush against each other? There's also the way she reacts when you initiate touch. If you place your hand on her back or shoulder, does she stiffen and pull away? Or does she relax into it? Does she find excuses to prolong the contact? That reciprocation is just as important as her initial gestures. The human need for touch is powerful. We release oxytocin when we touch people we care about, and that hormone deepens our emotional bonds. When a woman is consistently finding ways to be in your physical space and create these touching moments, her body is literally trying to build a chemical connection with you. Time is the one thing we can never get back. We can make more money, buy new things, meet new people. But time? Once it's gone forever. So when someone consistently chooses to spend their time with you, that's one of the most valuable gifts they can give. Think about your own life for a second. You've got work or school, family obligations, friends who want to hang out, hobbies you enjoy, shows you want to watch, sleep you desperately need. Your schedule is probably packed, right? Well, hers is too. Everyone's is. So when a woman starts carving out space in that packed schedule specifically for you, she's making a statement about your importance in her life. Notice how she responds when you suggest getting together. Is it an enthusiastic yes? Does she immediately start figuring out when she's free? Or does she seem reluctant, offering vague responses like, maybe, or I'll let you know? The enthusiasm level tells you everything. When someone wants to see you, they find a way. When they don't, they find an excuse. But it goes beyond just saying yes to your invitations. A woman who's genuinely interested will initiate plans herself. She'll text you about a new restaurant she wants to try, or a movie she thinks you'd both enjoy. She'll mention an event coming up and suggest you go together. She's not waiting around for you to make all the moves because she actively wants to create opportunities to spend time with you. Watch what happens when scheduling conflicts arise. Does she try to find an alternative time? If she genuinely can't make it on Tuesday, does she counter with Thursday? Or does the conversation just drop? Someone who values your time together will work to make it happen, even if it means shuffling other things around. Here's a really telling sign. She stays longer than necessary. Maybe you met for coffee and it was supposed to be a quick hour, but 3 hours later, you're both still there talking. She's not checking her watch or her phone constantly. She's not making excuses to leave. In fact, when one of you finally mentions the time, she seems almost disappointed that the moment is ending. Look at the quality of her presence, too. When you're together, is she fully there? Or is she distracted, scrolling through her phone, clearly thinking about other places she needs to be? A woman who's invested in you puts her phone away. She gives you her attention. She's present in the moment because that moment with you matters to her. She'll also show flexibility with the activities themselves. Maybe she's not super into sports, but she comes to your game anyway. Perhaps trying new foods isn't her thing, but she's willing to check out that Thai place you love. This willingness to step outside her comfort zone shows she values the time with you more than her personal preferences. We all wear masks in public to some degree. We present a version of ourselves that's polished, put together, and socially acceptable. We share the highlight reel on social media and keep the messy, complicated parts private. That's normal. That's how most relationships stay at surface level. But when a woman starts removing that mask with you, when she lets you see the real her, that's when you know something significant is happening. Vulnerability is terrifying. Opening up about our fears, our past mistakes, our insecurities, our dreams that might sound silly to other people, that takes genuine courage. We risk judgment. We risk rejection. We risk someone using that information against us or losing respect for us. So we only do it with people we trust deeply. Listen to the conversations you're having with her. Is she talking about more than just surface-level topics like work gossip or weekend plans? Does she share stories from her childhood, maybe something painful or formative that shaped who she became? Does she tell you about past relationships and what she learned from them? Not in a bitter way, but in an honest, reflective way. Pay attention when she talks about her fears and insecurities. Maybe she shares that she's worried about her career path, or that she doesn't feel confident about certain aspects of herself. These aren't things people broadcast to everyone. When she admits these vulnerabilities to you, she's trusting you to handle them gently, to not mock or minimize them. Dreams are another area where vulnerability shows up. She might tell you about aspirations she has that feel too big or unrealistic. Maybe she wants to start her own business or travel to a specific place that holds meaning for her. Perhaps she has creative ambitions she hasn't shared with many people. Sharing dreams means risking someone telling you they're foolish or impossible. Notice how she talks about her emotions. Does she tell you when she's having a rough day and actually explain why? Does she express frustration, sadness, or anxiety without trying to immediately cover it up with, "But I'm fine"? Emotional honesty is incredibly intimate. Most people keep their struggles hidden, only showing them to the people who matter most. There's also vulnerability in asking for help or support. If she reaches out to you when she's going through something difficult, if she asks for your advice or just wants someone to listen, she's showing that she sees you as a safe person. She trusts your judgment and your capacity to be there for her. The way she responds to your vulnerability matters too. When you open up to her, does she receive it with empathy and without judgment? Does she share something equally personal in return? That reciprocal vulnerability creates a bond that goes far beyond casual dating or friendship. It's the foundation of real intimacy. In our distracted world, genuine attention has become rare. Most people are half listening while checking their phones, thinking about their own problems, or waiting for their turn to talk. So when someone actually pays attention to you, really listens and remembers, it stands out. It means something. A woman who's seriously interested in you doesn't just hear the words coming out of your mouth. She's actively engaged in understanding you as a person. She asks questions that dig deeper. If you mention you had a tough meeting at work, she doesn't just nod and move on. She asks what made it difficult. She wants to know how you handled it. She's curious about your thought process and your feelings. The real magic happens in the follow-up. This is where you can really tell if someone cares. You mentioned something in passing, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then she brings it up later. You told her about a presentation you were nervous about, and she texts you the day of to ask how it went. You mentioned your mom's birthday was coming up, and she asks if you did anything special. These aren't coincidences. She's keeping track because you matter to her. Watch how she responds when you talk about your passions. Whether it's music, sports, cooking, gaming, whatever lights you up. Does her face show genuine interest? Does she ask you to explain things even if she knows nothing about the topic? Some women will even do their own research later, just so they can have more meaningful conversations with you about the things you love. She remembers the small details that most people forget. the name of your childhood dog, your favorite food, that band you mentioned loving in high school, the fact that you take your coffee black, the book you said you were reading. These tiny pieces of information seem insignificant on their own, but remembering them shows she's been paying attention to everything you share. Notice the questions she asks about your future. Does she want to know where you see yourself in 5 years? What your goals are? What kind of life you're trying to build? These aren't first date questions. These are the questions someone asks when they're trying to figure out if your paths align, if there's compatibility beyond surface-level attraction. She's also curious about your perspectives and opinions. She asks what you think about things, not just what you do. She wants to understand how your mind works. Why do you believe what you believe? How did you come to see the world the way you do? This kind of intellectual curiosity shows she values not just your company, but your mind. The way she listens says everything. When you're talking, her phone is face down. Her body is turned toward you. She makes eye contact. She's not just waiting for her turn to speak. She's absorbing who you are, building a complete picture of you in her mind because she plans to keep you there.